Hello, today we are going to discuss about economic development plan. Economic development planning is an essential pre-requirement for the systematic economic development of a country. It helps to a country move from low development to high developed country. Economic plans provide strategies, directions, adaptations to global changes when a country moves from low development to high level development. Economic systems or economic organizations. Most of countries face a problem because of limited resources that are available. To produce goods and services, we need resources and fulfill people's unlimited needs by limited resources in the major role of an economy. So, economic plan will give solutions for what goods and services should provide, in which quantity, how should goods and services should produced, for whom goods and services to produce. For that, there are three current economic systems: market economy, centralized economy, mixed economy. Some of important features of market economy are private ownership of production factors, free enterprise choices, competitive markets, price mechanism, and limited role of government. Centralized economy, here the government own all productive resources except labor. And in mixed economy, most of countries have this economy. Main activities are here: manufacturers, consumers, production resources owners, and the government involvement. Both public and private ownership of resources and profits focused in private sector, and social welfare is the public sector focus. Source and key component of an economic plan. The political party which came to power after the election present their economic and development policy. So there are key components of the development policy: vision, objective, policies, target, strategies, thrust areas. Vision is the image of what you want to see in future based on your goals. An objective are the things that you aim to achieve. Policies, a cause or principle of action adopted or proposed by an organization. Target is something that you are trying to do or achieve. Strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a long-term or overall aim. First area is restored fields or major areas. According to duration, there are three types of plans: long-term plans, which means 10 or more than 10 years. Example, Mahinda Chintana 10-year plan. Then midterm, years between 3 to 5. Example, public investment programs, 5-year plan, 1972 to 1976 in Sri Lanka. And then short-term plans, also in annual plan, 1 year or less than 1 year. Example, annual budget plan by Finance Ministry. Types of economic planning. There are microeconomic planning, sectoral planning and sub-national planning. Preparation of microeconomic plan. Microeconomic plan aim to develop the economy to middle income in country. So strategies of making economic plan encourage public, private and foreign investment through capacity expansion, increasing productivity in all sectors, infrastructure development, human resource development, and also increase research and development. Here, the economy consider the whole economy as a single unit in microeconomic plan. It has objectives, goals, microeconomic policies, and future forecasts. It makes plans with future forecasts using such an economic growth, employment, inflation, investments, savings, balance of payments, budget effects, etc. Ministry of Finance and Planning with the Department of National Planning prepared this plan. And aim of a microeconomic plan is maintaining a high economic growth consistently, like more than 8%. Now let's see what is rural development. This is a development process that used to improve the living standards and self-esteem of the poor in rural areas. This program provides a variety of facilities such as infrastructure development, livelihood development, health and nutrition improvement. The aim is to reduce the distance and disparity between village and city. As a result, rural people connect to urban market and increase employment opportunities, also increase their income levels. In Sri Lanka, this program is very important since about 70% of population living in rural areas. Sectoral planning. There are three major sectors in an economy: agriculture, industries, and services. Example, in agriculture sector include paddy and other crops, fruits, vegetables, plantation crops, irrigation, forestry, and fisheries, and also animal husbandry. Each of these sectors may have subsectors also. When make a sectoral plan, we have to consider them too. Example, in agriculture, paddy crop vegetables are short-term cultivation, but forestry is long-term cultivation. There are main steps in sectoral planning. First, we examine the performance, potential strengths, and issues of the relevant sector. Then setting goals and priorities for the development of the sector. And then identify appropriate policies and strategies to achieve identified goals and objectives. Then finally, the preparation of programs and projects to be implemented in practice in accordance with the identified policy strategies based on the available resources. Then subnational planning. They are preparation of economic development plans for division of a country. According to geographical location, political and administration, spreadness of natural resources, historical, cultural, and religious factors, it will divide to particular area. And there are three ways of planning and implementing at provincial, district, and divisional level plans. So, how we do it? There are three ways. First, implementation of the National Development Plan at the divisional level. So here identify major national programs and projects and implementing at a regional level with given priority. Example, North Chol coal power plant. And second, identify the development needs of each area and prepare regional plans accordingly and add them to the national plan. Example, Uturu Vasantaya, Uturu Rohunu Udanya, Naganihira Navodaya, Rajarata Navodaya, like that. There were 9 programs for 9 provinces. And then develop and implement plans at the village and divisional level. In here, consider the village as one unit and make plans. Examples, one work for one village, Kamusamaga Pilisandara, Obata Kratata Hitak program. That's it. And then integrated development programs. This is one of most famous and huge development program in Sri Lanka. It started from Kurunegala district in 1979. There were 3 major projects: Mahavali Development Project, Free Trade Zone Project, and 10 lakhs housing project. Some main objectives were there: poverty alleviation in rural areas, coordinating and integrating interconnected projects in the rural economy, establishing rural participation in the implementation of rural development programs, identifying the problems and needs of the villages from the rural people and preparing programs accordingly, identify the complexity of rural problems and design an integrated approach to address these problems. So funds needed for integrated programs fulfill the general treasury and supporting of the foreign aid. There are 2 ways of receiving foreign aid: bilateral assistance schemes, like assistance given by a government directly to the another country to local NGO. Example, Sri Lanka Switzerland. This is a cooperation strategy for Sri Lanka for the year 2016 to 20 period. It aimed to support the country's reform and reconciliation process and to strengthen bilateral relations. And then the second way is getting financial resources is multilateral aid given through international organization. Example, World Bank. So there are 2 program implementation axes: enrich traditional areas by a prosperity approach and access by target group. But there were some weaknesses in this integrated programs. One is unable to achieve expected outcome and still poverty remaining in that area. So in Sri Lanka, some introduced livelihood program didn't continue within the program period and they stopped. And appropriate technological production improvement and market did not have. And finally, the monitoring and supervision was difficult due to connection of many parts and integration. Thank you so much, and let's meet again.